Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate you. There I am. And welcome to Pillars of Eternity, a classic CRPG and a long one from several years ago. The first game that really showed what Kickstarter can do. This is going to be like a guided tour of the game. Not gonna play it in the hardest difficulty. I just want to show everything the game has and all the content it has, because I feel like this game is another one of those stories that has amazing writing, and yeah, I want to showcase the story they're telling. So we're gonna get started right away. Not on story mode. We are playing on easy though, because yeah, Obsidian joint.
5
I
wagons rode
know.
blindly for the path on a starless night,
Also not good at this
their
game.
master glancing
I
ever
can turn it up
upward
at
to the
any time, and I
skies for
might.
assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern his only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan
Yeah, I'm here for
carries
the story, the
travelers
shared
bound for the
story.
frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start. You have taken suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf.
No,
He pulls up just in
traditional
time to avoid
RPG.
plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight.
So that's the introduction of his story. I'm sick. So this is the character creator. As you can see, we've got the classic 2016 graphics going on here. We have 6 races, and each of these races has their little sub-races. You'll notice that a lot of these are somewhat non-traditional. This game was made by a lot of the folks that made the original Baldur's Gate, and while it's going to look real similar, they wanted to avoid as much as possible the appearance of this being a Dungeons and Dragons ripoff. So lots of new things they introduced in this game. So you can be obviously a human, a dwarf, or an elf. Those are all self-explanatory. You can also be an anima, which is a fish creature, an Orlan. Yeah, the elves are not traditionally pretty elves. They're interesting. You also have the Orlan, which are basically little cat people. Then you have the godlikes, which are elemental in nature. I want to show you the godlikes. You can see the different kinds. We have nature, is like a tree. We have moon, which has a moon growing out of their forehead. This thing. And then you have the fire godlikes, which are with their heads on fire all the time. But we are going to be playing, I have a very particular character build in mind, so we'll be playing a human this time around. Where are my notes? There they are. So there is really no difference between the 3 different sub-races of humans: meadow folk, ocean folk, or savanna folk. Since this game starts in an area called the Dyrwood. Oh, does that bug now? No, it's not. All right. I'm going to play a Dyrwood meadow folk. As you can see, just like if you've ever played any of the Pathfinder games, if there's a term you don't know, most of them allow you to hover over them and see what they say. So here we have the classes. Pillars of Eternity gives you a 6-person party. And generally you want to make sure that your party has 2 tanks. Yeah, I love D&D tabletop too, but every so often I delve into something that's a little bit different. So you get a 6-person party here. You generally want 2 tanks, 2 DPS, and 2 crowd control, whether that be healers or like mages or stuff. So the characters that and you can see there's a whole bunch of casters here. Yep, there's monks. They look ridiculous. You get your wizard, you've got your fighter, your druid, your rogue. Those are all very self-explanatory. Your ranger, your priest, your paladin, and your barbarian. You also have the chanter, which is kind of like a bard from Final Fantasy XIV. If you've played that, they kind of stack songs on another. So you stack your songs up, and you use the songs to kind of like a skald. Yeah. Only you use your songs to generate power to cast spells. And then you have the cipher, who hits things and then uses that power of hitting things to use magic instead of memorizing spells. Throughout the game, you get companions of every single class, except for the barbarian and the rogue. The power of hitting things, yes. That's exactly what it is. It's focus. So we'll get a cipher, we'll get a chanter, we'll get a ranger, we'll get a druid, we'll get a fighter, all throughout the game. We can choose those as we go along. We can mix and match them. I'm going to play a barbarian because we don't get a barbarian during the game. Barbarians are unique in Pillars of Eternity when compared to barbarians of other games. Their main ability is called Carnage. Whenever you hit something with a weapon of any sort, it automatically makes a reduced damage attack on all other enemies within range. But what makes this barbarian interesting is that the range is determined not by your might, but by your intelligence. So barbarians in Pillars of Eternity have to be super, super smart. Very educated creatures. Yes, like the smartest character in the party is going to be a barbarian. You start by picking abilities. So we could have Frenzy or Barbaric Yell. A Barbaric Yell, Frighten, is just an AE Frighten. And Frenzy is, well, it's you play D&D, it's Rage. You get a Might, Constitution, attack speed bonus, but you just get hit harder. So Frenzy is not great early on, but it's better later on in the game when you can take steps to make that deflection penalty not as big a deal. Whereas Barbaric Yell is just not very good at all. So we're going to go Frenzy and just forget about it for a couple levels. Alrighty, so we have the 6 skills that we go through. We have Might, which is just strength. It's how hard you hit. Constitution is how much hit points you have, how much health you have. Dexterity is how fast you attack. It does not increase damage for rogue stuff. Perception is, well, it's perception, but also it's accuracy. Intellect is how smart you are. Resolve is how wise you are. So we are going to do this. We're actually going to reduce our Constitution because we're not the party tank. We're going to reduce our dexterity because when this build is done, I won't care how slow we attack. It's not going to matter. We're going to put might all the way up to 18, intellect all the way up to 18. The rest goes into perception. I missed something here. Yeah, resolve. I'm going to knock that one down. And I'm going to do that. Yeah, so that's where my build is going to start. Maxed out might, high perception, high intellect, poor constitution, poor dexterity, and poor resolve. So we'll see how that goes. We can see here. Oh, I see what I'm doing. Push it down to 8. So we have different areas that we can say we're from. A deer of a Deadfire archipelago, the Ixmital Plains. None of this means anything to me or you at this point, and that's fine. It'll mean more later. But I am choosing the Deadfire archipelago for that extra point in dexterity. Because my might and my int is already maxed out. And then I am going to be my background is going to be slave. I've never known freedom. Shackles of chains have bound your existence, and someone else has told you what to do your entire life. Let's see. That kind of actually find a decent portrait. No, that's into the other races. I saw one guy who was like full on Conan. Where'd he go? There he is. Full on. Oh yeah, that's creepy. I don't think I could stare at that smile for 100 hours without just going, no. That is like someone dressed up in LARP gear and getting their pictures done at Walmart. So no, we're gonna go full Conan with this. Hair color matches. Yeah, like the facial hair. Long hair going here for this guy. Sure. That's fun. Oh, there we go. All right. Primary and secondary colors work for me. Voices. Hello, my name is Arnold Schwarzenegger, yes.
What is it?
Watch and learn.
Stand together!
Keeping quiet.
I'll lead the way. Ha!
Silence surrounds me.
What is it?
So what's really fun, one fun thing I like to do about this game, the voice cast will be very, very familiar. They weren't as famous at this point, but they became famous together later on. So it's fun seeing how many characters you can get in one party that are all voiced by the same famous person now. So I'm going to pick Sinister, just for that reason.
Now I am the leader of the group. Ugh!
And, of course, I am the Olsen. So this is my Barbarian, and let's get started with Pillars of Eternity. Oh, I have unused attribute points? Huh? Where? How'd I do that? I do. Oops. Alright, now we start Pillars of Eternity. The caravan master finishes addressing the group, his bushy red mustache and sagging jowls quivering as if for emphasis.
Everybody stays close to the wagons, got it? Stay out of the woods, and beasts take you if you are planning a stroll through those ruins up there. Whole area's crawling with hut-dwelling types who would be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks. Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Vale's less than a day out. Understood? Touch of the rumbling rot, could be. There's a stinging beetle round here carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards. Unless you don't drink water, course. Which case you'll be dead in a day.
That sounds unfortunate.
There's a berry grows in these parts, small and pink. called a springberry, about the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. You might check around, see if you can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water. I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker, but see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here.
Where would I find these berries?
They grow on a bush that's common round here, kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Doubt you'd have to go far off the road to find one.
That's very specific. The funny-looking bush. I am an uneducated but very intelligent barbarian, so I'm not sure I'd do well with that. What are these ruins?
Nothing you won't see on half the hills of Air Glonfoth. Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay if you don't mind getting stuck with Glonfoth and arrows now and again. They didn't build them, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch them like a mother bear. Of course, all the ones around here have been ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pawn, so I hear.
So who did build these ruins?
Got different names for them. Settlers called them Ingwithans. Nobody that liked them enough to stop them becoming ruins, tell you that much.
Fair point. Is it dangerous out here?
Not if you hurry about your business. And not if the weather holds up.
What kind of weather did it get out here?
This time of year, rain mostly, and wind. But there's a different kind of wind out here time to time. Locals call it a beawick, born out of the ether, the spirit's path. Never seen it myself, never cared to.
Oh, you've doomed us all, my friend. What are these huge rocks coming out of the ground?
They don't got Audra where you come from? Well, it just grows up out of the ground like this. Goes deep like tree roots. Some of it all the way to the heart of the world, you believe the stories. It's more like a shell than a proper rock. Easier to work if you're a mason. Got all kinds of strange properties. Seems to have some kind of life of its own. Dies if it gets dug up. Loses its luster. Folks think it probably grew at one point or another, but not these days. The soul butchers in Defiance Bay use it for different things. I've heard tell it can hold a man's soul, but I don't care to see it. Got enough to worry about without seeing something like that.
I guess I'll go see about those berries then, before I drop dead.
Hold on. Take someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot, not like most of this lot. But you drop dead, I don't want to be looking for the body. Got a schedule to keep.
Scans over the travelers, resting his eyes at length on a sturdy, armor-clad woman who has spent the journey's night sleeping on uneven ground, without blanket or pillow.
Kalisha. Kalisha! He needs to find some springberries. Watch that he doesn't drop dead.
No promises.
What kind of guide says something like that?
Kind you can afford.
Don't listen to her. You're in good hands. And I pay too well, if anything. Off with you. Hayden should have supplies. See that you're equipped before you head out. We're in harsh country. Get your berries and hurry back. And if you get so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. If it's a beawick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned.
You heard the man. Let's get going before you keel over.
Love is in the air. Yeah,
Of
Calista
course.
is a great character. So, you see, we have our party down here. We have Dolson, who is our barbarian, and Calista,
What you need?
who is a fighter? Yep, she's a fighter. So we'll go through all of this a lot. But yeah, she's rocking scale armor. I'm rocking hide. You see the different stats, DR, which is damage reduction, and recovery speed. The bigger the armor, the tougher the armor in the game, the slower you attack. So sometimes you have to balance making... How can I put this? You have to balance out your damage doing versus your damage taking. In this case, the Olsen's job is going to be that of a damage doer, so I may not wear the heaviest armor I can find. I'm also rocking a greatsword, which is fun. You'll notice also I am debuffed. I have this strange illness. I have lost 3 fortitude and 3 concentration. So if I get attacked by something, I may get interrupted a lot. Alright. So, yeah, don't need berries. Exactly, I'm a badass. So just like Baldur's Gate 2, Baldur's Gate 3, you have the convenient button that allows you to tab to see things you can talk to and interact with.
Yes.
Do I have anyone with mechanics? Nope. Nope. Alright, well that chest will stay forever locked for the entirety of the game, because I can't unlock it. That's a shame. Alright, well. Let's just loot everything we can find. And here's...
Anyone need supplies? I've got sundries for sale.
Thank you. Yes, I will chat with you. I would love supplies. You see a man wearing simple but mostly neat clothes. He's transfixed, however, by a ragged tear in the seam of his tunic.
Brought a whole wagon full of goods to sell, but not enough shirts for the road. Say, is there anything you need? I've got some basic traveling supplies for sale if you'd like to take a look.
Who are you?
I'm a trader, originally from the Adir Empire, but I've been trying to establish new business out here. Life on the road has brought some unexpected challenges, to be sure. And I'm sure you've noticed how prickly the locals can be. But we're here to make the most of things, right?
I'm missing something. My thoughts, exactly.
Something else you need?
Is there anything that you carry that I need? Yes. I am going to grab an extra sword and just keep it in my inventory. For reasons. Alright, why am I not getting the auto level companions? Needs to go off. Personality, reputation go on. Auto pause on enemy spotted, on spellcast, on target destroyed, hidden object found. Alright. Yes, I would like to save the changes, please. There we go. That'll make things make a lot more sense. As you go through dialogue options, you develop a reputation from those dialogue options, whether it be someone who's chivalrous, clever, sarcastic, an asshole. And that can have consequences down the road. For instance...
Something else you need? Looks like we're settled for the night.
Why'd you move all the way out here?
Because it seemed friendlier than Raid Ceres? My brothers took over the family mercantile business a few years ago, and there wasn't enough for me to do back home. I moved out to try and expand.
Dyrwood is a former Adrier colony, so it seemed like a good place to start. And as much as I admire the Red Saren's work ethic, they've always struck me as a little fanatical. You see if I pick option number 2, I pick up a point in diplomatic, which I'm going to do because I'd like a point in diplomatic. That's high-minded of you. Not at all. Just doing my part. You see... Where does it show that? It doesn't anymore, so you'll have to take my word for it. Cool. I'm sure we'll figure that out eventually. All right, so we're going to head southeast first. Remembering that since the last time I played it, that WSAD does not work in this game. Fallen tree doesn't budge. Sap oozes from a jagged wound in its
Not
trunk.
looking forward to trying to lift that thing tomorrow.
Here we have horses. And we have a crafting ingredient, which we will need to worry about much, much later. You can see we have a crazy, crazy crafting system that we can deal with later. So we're going to come back this way now. Through here. We're not going to go across the bridge just yet. And I don't have a ranged weapon, so I'm not going to mess with that wildlife, but travelers maybe, or looters, or bandits. Bad sign any way you figure it. Corpse is cold of a touch, and a ripe smell wafts from it in putrid waves. Dark, crusted bloodstain besmirches its simple linen clothing. Get a lockpick and leather armor. Since it's early in the game, I'm going to give that leather armor to Jules. A little bit of an upgrade than the hides I was wearing before. Okay. Moving along.
This is recent. Not good.
I will take a beer. Beer gives you a damage reduction, because of course it does. While few foreigners have much kind to say about the beer in the Dyrwood, where locals prefer to indulge in narcotics. Yeah, this area has a drug problem. One thing you can do as well
Keeping an eye out.
is go into scouting mode, and hidden things will pop up.
Take a look at this.
Oh yeah, but they definitely numb the pain, but the beer is terrible here because most folks numb the pain through smoking stuff or snorting it. So here we find our first magic item of the game. This one is not very good. Yes, it is. It is a pistol. This game has firearms. This is a bad pistol. It's called literally the Disappointer. The Disappointer was touted as a powerful, reliable weapon, but it has consistently failed every one of its unfortunate owners. This is a terrible weapon that disappoints anyone who uses it. The gun appears well made at first glance, but closer scrutiny reveals poor design and shoddy craftsmanship. Those who aren't fooled by its appearance still occasionally attempt to use it just to see if it's maybe the whole thing was made to look this way as an elaborate ruse, hoping that this was an artifact of extreme power crafted by a master who desired to conceal its remarkable nature. It wasn't, and it isn't. So it's got the affix terrible accuracy, so it doesn't hit, and it just does less damage than other guns. I also picked up a jaunty hat. It does absolutely nothing of interest, but it looks pretty. I am not going to judge you. You know what? Early firearms. Hey, I know you're not. I know you're not from North America, but you could be American. They love their guns. All right. Let's see. Elsewheres, I want. There it is. Mushrooms. Let's head back to camp and let's sell this gun. Theoden, you can have the disappointment.
Something else you need?
150 copper, not bad. You can also take the clothing. And yeah. Cool. All right. Hello, sir.
I'll have your water soon enough. Stream's not going anywhere.
He's got a point. We tend not to. All right, heading up this way.
Let's check by those outcroppings.
We find more crafting. And
We
this
shouldn't stray too far.
Thanks, Kaliska. Jesus. Here we find a corpse and our first enemy, a young wolf. Oh, that is my face is covering up that. Hang on. Whatever. We'll deal. All right, so right early on, there's not much you can do. Every character has abilities that they can do. You can either do them per encounter or per long rest. I can frenzy once per encounter, and I can second wind once per encounter as well. Bliska can knock down people as well as also second wind. So I'm going to have her knock down the wolf. Well, I am going to hack at it with my sword. So this is kind of like, again, from D&D, the engagement and disengagement rules, where once you are in combat with something, you can't really get out of combat with it without provoking an attack of opportunity. So a strategy is making sure your fighters go in first and get the enemy stuck in combat so that your other guys can come around the side and flank them. That worked well. Excellent. Good job,
As you
Kaliska.
wish.
So we get some wolf hide. I'll definitely take that. Another thing that is unique in Pillars of Eternity is that you only
What
get
is
a little
it?
bit experience for killing things. Most of your experience comes from quests and bounties and what have you. You only get the experience as you fill out your bestiary, and then, well, you stop getting it. So that makes it so that the most efficient way to level up is to carry on with the story and not to sit and just farm creatures over and over again like it's an MMO. So you see we have our bestiary here. Everything we've killed. And then tells you a little bit of lore about the creature and their stats. And that fills out as you kill them. First 3 will get you their stats.
This is it.
Got me a springberry. So, once a slave, do it in a free palatinate of Dyrwood. Guessing those marks on your back. Yeah, the funny looking bush. It looked like every other bush. Guessing those marks on your back didn't come from loving caresses. So here, you're establishing a little bit of your own background. You're writing your own story. So, I was on a galley at sea. Yeah? How's it you happen to come here? Someone bought me out of slavery. Something I can never pay back. You got a lot on your mind then. Hopefully things work out in the end. But in my experience, they don't always. Been a long time since I've been this way, but I always did like it. What Radrick's offer makes a girl think. I'll give him that. You here to settle like the rest of the lot? It's a hard offer to pass up. Yeah, you won't find many offers like it in these parts, believe me. Got some big plan in store. I'm gonna lay low here for a while. Try not to draw too much attention to myself. You picked the right place then. Gilded Vale's days away from any real civilization. Anyway, I'm wasting time here. The demo will give me an earful. Let's be on our way. Oh, Kaliska, tell me, why are you here? Oh, my sister moved out here some time back. She sent me a letter. She seemed worried, but that's how she always is. This time, though, she asked me to come out, and that got me a little worried. Haven't seen her in ages. Doing guide work at Ixmitil. I'd do anything for her. She's a much better woman than me. So I'm here, and we'll see. Odema I've worked with before. He doesn't usually drive a route this way, but doing it for me. Tell me about yourself. I've got simple needs, like open skies and far horizons. Find work that lets me live that way. My family wanders too. We started in Dyrwood, but parents ended up in Living Lands. I got a brother in Roatai and another in Adir. My sister's in Gilded Vale. She's the only real homebody. What can you tell me about the Dyrwood? Not much for history, but from what I know, it used to be part of the Adir Empire. Broke off after a war some years back. Locals here are feisty, and that's how they like it. I've been out of touch, but I'm hearing weird things of it lately. People having trouble giving birth, I guess. A lot of them. Been going on for years now, but somehow it's getting worse. I'll have to ask my sister more about it. All right, let's get back to camp. You know, I wouldn't hold my breath at Sparfell's getting you water anytime soon. He does what he feels like, when he feels like it. We should check up on him first. Flap him around a little. Stream's just down that way. Come, let's get you your water. And we continue. As you can see, I gained a whole bunch of experience for doing a quest. It's divided evenly among the party, so... That's suspicious.
What a surprise. Sparfel went hunting.
Sometimes the game, instead of doing cutscenes, they do this, where they take you out of the game and put you on a written story that allows you to pick options, and depending on what you pick, it influences what happens in the game. So this happens all the time, and it's really neat. It's a way to tell a really deep storyline without necessarily having to show it in a cutscene. So you crouch at the riverbank and dip your water skin in the cool water while Calissa waits nearby, keeping watch. As you rise, you notice her look up sharply towards the tree line. Out of the trees emerges Sparfell, one of the guides, barely discernible in the dim moonlight. He no longer carries his bow, and there's a strangeness to his gait, his stride wobbly as he moves towards you with labored breath.
Sparfel? Are you all right?
Sparfel's toe catches on a rock, and he collapses forward in a heap, the feathered shaft of an arrow planted between his shoulders like an enemy flag. Uh-oh.
Ambush!
All right, two more bad guys. We have a Glenfaffin hunter and another hunter. So let's split the... No, do you know what? We're going to do this. We're going to go after this guy first. and see what happens.
Hmm?
Ow. Oh, fuck, that's... Screw that up. There we go.
Come on, we have to get back to camp.
There are 2 health bars for each of my characters. We have Endurance, which is much bigger and recharges between fights. And then we have Health, which is much, much smaller and does not recharge. If you run out of Endurance, you fall down. And you just don't, you get up at the end of the fight. If you run out of health, you die. Whenever damage is given to you, part of it goes to endurance, part of it goes to health. You can only recover health through a long rest. Let's take all of this. I'm poor. Alright, we're going back to camp, because bad things are happening.
What is it?
Oh dear, here we go, another fight. Would you stop shooting me? Alright, let's do this.
Alright, follow me. What you need?
And here, the camp, everybody's dead. All around you lie the massacred remains of the other travelers, peppered with arrows and knife hilts, splayed and bug-eyed and filthy. Liska puts the back of her left hand to her mouth as if to ward away some poisonous vapor. A handful of dark figures stand above the fallen, treading on limbs and backs and heads, jerking their axes from bodies as if from half-split logs. One of them, towering and severe with a thick beard tasseled with knots, holds a wet blade at the neck of the man you recognize as Hyoden, the last of your caravan left standing. Lay down your arms, trespasser. Do not forfeit this man's life for a fight you will lose. Let's go. So if we had lore, we could pick this option, whatever it is, but we don't know what it is because we don't have any lore, so... let's go with honest. We have not trespassed, we merely wish to pass through. Your words carry no weight when I have seen the truth with my own eyes. Blood must be paid for this intrusion. So I say again, lay down your arms. Don't trust them, they mean to kill us all. So you can find lots and lots of different options here depending on your stats, the stuff you're good at. Let's see. The only one here that's really, really bad is put down your weapon, so we're not going to do that. But we are going to go with the intellect response because of my smart barbarian. Judging by the string of animal teeth around your neck, I'm guessing you're worshippers of Gallowayne. Gallowayne told you to stop protecting the ruins. Would you? The man frowns and motions as if to swing his axe. Hyoden winces, but the blow never comes. Instead, the man cocks his head, intrigued. Of course, but he would not. It's by the command of all the gods that we accept this charge. How do you know? Because it's consistent with their beliefs, or because it's what you were told? Man glares. It's always been known to my people. I see. And what of Gallowayne's edict that weakness and age must be purged by youth and strength? He thinks Gallowayne would want some moldy, crumbling stones to survive long after the builders have turned to dust? Nostrils flare as he fumes. He would not. He told us otherwise. I'm sure he did, just not you personally. But why would he stop? Why should that stop you from killing innocents? Distracted, the man's grip falters on his axe handle, and he nearly fumbles it, affording Hyoden the moment he needs to dodge out of his swing, which comes too late. Howling with rage, the man charges you instead. And we start a fight. We actually pick up Hyoden for this fight. He is a Viggo Mortensen-looking guy. What are you? Dual wield. You are a rogue. So rogues have all kinds of fun abilities, including, just like tabletop, sneak attack. So basically any attack within the first 2 seconds of combat, or when the target is blinded, flanked, hobbled, paralyzed, petrified, prone, struck, stunned, or weakened, gives extra damage. So that comboed with Kaliska's ability to prone someone makes a rogue really, really strong. So we're going to go after the leader. We're going to prone him. And we're going to blind him as well. Well, that sucked. Okay, so I'm engaged with him now. That's a problem, but we're just going to do this.
Yes.
So, you see there is the Barbarian Carnage ability. He hit the leader, and because of the Carnage, he also hit this guy who's nearby. So this is why Barbarians are great in this game. Especially very smart Barbarians. They can hit a lot of things at once. Good job, everybody. Well done. Your enemy lies supine on the ground, unable to rise. His companion is now silent among the other dead. His breath comes in wheezing, dreadful gasps. He looks not at you. Sky above you. Forgive us. Barely audible beneath his choked sighs, a whisper of wind stirs the air. At this, man's eyes roll back as he closes them. Good. Good. Gods are just. Your smile crosses his face. I'm ready. The wind begins to swell, whipping around the camp, electric and volatile, upending pots and rattling tents like an angry spirit. It'll begin to seep beneath your skin, and where it pierces you, it feels as though it's rending you apart from within. Seated against a wagon wheel amidst the howling maelstrom, lashed across chest and bowel, Odema's body stirs, and with great effort he raises his sagging head, his eyes barely open. He looks directly at you.
Get inside! Run!
This is a nasty storm. Raining against a gale that threatens to pull you off your feet with every step. You set your hands in the worn folds of weathered rock and set upon pulling yourself up the parapet. With the last burst of energy, before your arms give out, you swing yourself up onto the ledge. Gilded trails behind, slowed by injury and delayed by early hesitation. As he nears the face of the rocks, one of the fallen attackers who have been feigning death lunges for Gilded and topples him onto the rocky ground. Strained, Gilded lashes out against his fatigued assailant that struggles to break his hold. They're close to you. Despite the wind from your position, if you were to throw your weapon at the attacker, you'd have a good chance of hitting your mark. But I'm going to toss my weapon at him. Your aim is true, and it jars Hyoden loose. Lurching to his feet, Hyoden clambers up the base of the rocks. As he nears the top, however, the wind flares, pulling him sideways and tearing one of his hands free. Diving out onto the hard rock, you manage to catch hold of it. Securing his other hand, you pull with waning strength, and as it feels your arms will be jerked from their sockets, they hold just long enough for Jotun to set his feet and join you on the trembling ledge. There is a deep resonance from swelling wind now. You feel it in the rocks beneath your feet and inside the cavity of your own chest, as though it would shake the marrow from your bones. Each new gust menaces the old stones before you, loosening connections, unsettling balances. As you dart beneath the old archway, the entire portal begins to fall beneath its own weight.
Was that?
A Bewick. Had to be.
Then we're lucky to be alive.
And we're the only ones.
We can't stay here. There could be another collapse. We're not getting out that way anyway. Let's get further inside.
So, we finish a quest. We gain a new quest. And we gain a whole ton of experience. Now, I threw my weapon away, and that is why I bought a sword, because I had a feeling. I prefer big two-handed weapons for a barbarian, but I'm apparently a pirate barbarian for the moment, so we'll rock the longsword for now. Eventually we'll pick up weapon specialization and go from there, but we're going to start with this. So, welcome to Silantlis, game's first dungeon. We start with the 3 members of our party here. Oops. Oh yeah, I can do fast mode if I wanna run a long distance. All right, let's see here. Lower level of the ruins has been blocked off by the falling rubble.
That should be far enough. But what now?
We look for another way out. Storm has to die sometime.
What happened out there? Windstorm. We're kindly only getting near Glenfath. Not too many people live through them, so it's hard to know what's true. Glenfathan word is Biawak. To them it's the words God's way of reaping the souls of a land that couldn't find their own way out. They'll take the living soul as soon as the dead one. Still got yours? Who attacked us? Glenfathans. Those would be the hut dwellers, which Emma warned you about. Look to be Fangs of Gallowayne, who are the twitchiest of a lot. They go ruin to ruin looking for fights with colonists. Poor Odema. I think he half expected this once we lost the main road. The Glenfathan said we trespassed into ruins. I don't believe that. Odema would never allow it. As much as the Fangs are hotheads, Glenfathans don't attack without being provoked. Either they saw something and got the wrong idea, or there's looters in here with us. Not something we need right now. What about everyone else in the caravan? The wheels got a hold of them now. Gods grant them better luck in their next lives. You don't seem too upset about this. Maybe you just don't know me enough to know what upset looks like. Maybe I've seen worse, too. Seen worse and kept on walking. There's nothing else to be done, and because there's other people who care about you, still need you. Let's get going. So we're going to head up this way.
Wonder who was here. See if they left anything useful behind.
Well, they definitely did. I see things I can loot. A mace, camping supplies, and a hammer and chisel. I'll definitely use those. Camping supplies allow me to camp out in the wilderness. Otherwise, I'd have to camp in an inn. So, I don't really need to camp because I didn't take that much damage in the first fight. Small shield and a torch. Alright, if I'm using a one-handed weapon, I'm also going to use a shield. That's a goofy looking shield.
As you wish.
I will never get used to WASD not working. Alright, back this way. So,
How can I help?
technically, I'm supposed to solve a puzzle here. But what fun is that? When I could just
Look at the tiles.
go through all of these and disarm them all for experience.
What are those symbols?
I know. Yeah, I'm just going to go through all of these and just disarm every single
Found
one because
something.
that's 45 experience each.
Worth a look.
Okay, we're just going to do this for the entire trap. Some of them are easier, some of them are harder. None of them are overly
Found
difficult.
something.
Yoden can do them all. And done. See, that got us 250 experience each.
What you
Not
need?
bad. But we're not going that way yet because there's a dungeon. And we have to clear said dungeon for loot and or experience. He looks lootable. An Ingwithian relief gem. That'll come in useful at some point, I'm sure. And a tattered journal. This small folio is torn in several places, and blood is soaked into several of the sheets. One later entry is still legible, however. Can't believe my luck. Few rounds of dice, and I've got my hands on a genuine Ingwithian artifact. The fellow who had it said it was a pretty nothing as far as he's concerned. He's not willing to go digging in some ruins. But if he's right about this gem leading to a hidden treasure, then that's worth sneaking past a few painted elves. I'll head to Silent List in the morning, then just a matter of finding this relief he was talking about. And then I can keep all those. Cool. Alright, let's go down here. Who are you? A trembling, sickly creature emerges from the dark, clutching a spear. Knobby elbows and thin ribs show through its scaly flesh, but you recognize it as a Zorip. It watches you cautiously, breathing in ragged sighs. It's okay. I won't hurt you. Zorip recoils, fingers still wrapped tightly around its spear. The creature cocks its head and approaches you, a soft clicking sound emanating from the back of its throat. The creature sniffs around and finds nothing of interest. It steps back and resumes its defensive posture. I'll raise my arms and stand still. So I need to get past this lizard, and he's not going to let me pass, is he? Yep. Alright, so, sorry buddy, you've got to die. He has a spear and a medium shield, which I probably will use instead of that little one.
Yes?
Also, I've taken a significant amount of damage, and I'm not happy about that. That's 8 deflection. This is 12 deflection, but minus 4 accuracy, so let's do that for now. And then 14 to 20 slash pierce or just pierce. So they're basically the same weapon. So I'm going to keep using the longsword. Also, is that all I grabbed? Huh. Weird. Cool. Anyway, coming down here. Lockpicks. A bow. Nothing too useful.
What you need? Wait.
Coming this
You
way.
hear-
This is another Skulder. This is a Skulder Whelp, which is another creature. So I'm gonna have stop you here. Can I change my formation? I can. You're getting in line. Sick of my barbarian taking all the damage. Kliska, take some damn hits. There you go. Yoden, you just tore that thing apart. Well done.
How can I help?
What you need?
What's this? Hatchet. So hatchets do a little bit less damage, but they're very good at interrupting.
Shortcut.
Crack runs along this wall from floor to ceiling. A light gust of air passes through it. Couldn't be fake, could it? Despite the damage, stone looks heavy and solid. I'm going to push on it. You push with all your might, and crack against the spread. Finally, you feel the ancient masonry give way. Walls crash down, revealing a circular room ahead. As my barbarian plunges through the wall, screaming, "Oh yeah!" I could also have used the hammer and chisel if I didn't want to use my own might.
I could scout ahead, see what's around the corner.
Yeah, you could. Let's just get into a fight. There they are. Let's knock this thing down so it doesn't hurt me. What a stunning scream. We will never know because I interrupted it. Excellent. I hope I never find out. Skulder ear. Tattered ear of a Skulder. Don't know what I expected. Is there another one of those bad boys in here? I could have used the,
I think we found an exit. Sounds like the storm paths, too.
Yeah, I know there's an exit, but I'm not going that way just yet. We could have used that ear to pacify the hungry fella. Hungry goblin Zorup thing, but really it's a Zorup. It's like a goblin. Suffer not, it to live. So we'll continue through... Oh, hey, there's a spider. Spear spiderling. Just the one, though. Woo! Any loot on you? Nope. Feel like I'm missing a door. Oh.
Well?
I am missing a door.
How can I help?
Also missing a
Well?
rogue. There we go.
Pretty sure I saw it on one of the tiles back there.
So that rounder symbol, if you saw it on the tiles, that probably means light it on fire. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to light this whole room on fire and see what happens. A symbol of interwoven rings is inscribed on this pillar. Unlit brazier sits at its base. Could be lit if you have the means. Now, if I was a fire godlike, I could just headbutt it. But I'm not, so I'm just going to use a torch. But I could headbutt it in the future. If I meet any fire godlikes. And number 6. Now that also would have gotten rid of the traps, but that's fun. I'm doing these solutions backwards. Oh, hey, an ooze. Immune to prone, so... There we go. We got ooze plasma, a congealed mass of thick and opaque jelly. That just sounds gross. That's also for crafting, I'm sure. And we have a poleaxe.
What is it?
Think that is going to go real well with Carnage if I ever fight something nasty. So we're gonna... I fight a big group. Two-handed weapons require 2 slots. Of course they do. I knew that. So we're going to do that. Put that in slot number 2. And there we go.
As you wish.
Now there's also... viscous and oily. This muck clings to anything it touches. A viscous slick of something dark and tar-like runs down this wall. Shape and bulges in the ooze suggest that something lies beneath it, but you can't tell what. Well, I grabbed that water skin earlier. You rinse the ooze away, revealing an intricate relief of a man's face. The sunburst surrounding it is chipped away in places, but the details of its head, from the tight curls of hair on the ridges to the ridges of his pointed ears, still showcase remarkable craftsmanship. One eye socket is empty. One gem fills the other. So, whenever you find a place where you can stick a gem in a rock, do it. Chamber begins to rumble, stray rocks dancing across the tile floor. Finally, a large section of the wall gives way. With more oozes. Yeah, we didn't get in there, buddy.
How can I help?
Oh, you're immune to fire, aren't you? How about you're dead anyway, so okay. Alright, what's in there? A minor cloak of protection of fortitude +5, of reflex +5, of will +5. And we have Adra. And we have an amethyst. But this looks fun. I'm going to give that to you because you're my main character. And really, you can probably use it for now because you're like my secondary tank and you can't tank worth shit. Yeah. Start throwing stuff in the ash as well. Yep, that works. All right, moving right along. I am a civilized, intelligent barbarian. I can engage in intelligent, reasoned discourse, and also hit you really, really hard with a log the size of your car. All right. I was through there. I've been through there. I've explored that way. So we're going to go through here, and we're going to fight another spider. Is there any more in here? Bats as large as... What? Bats as large as chickens are strung on the web. Wow, you know they're good-sized spiders when they're that big. I will take a rapier and another gem. What do we got over here? Ooh, a helmet, which does nothing. And more gems. Thank you. So I already have, and since I'm looking for Steam achievements as I do this, already have the ingredients to start doing alchemy. And that's what I'm going to do. Is I grabbed a Adamus wort, a jasper, and a scolder ear, and I have 60 copper. I'm going to make a potion of wizard's double. I'll stick that on my quick items so my barbarian does not get hit as much. That's really the goal here. And that's it. We're done here. And we've successfully beat the first dungeon. Yay!
What is it?
Did that get me a level? No, I'm really close to a level, though. That's cool.
As you wish.
What you need?
Oh, cutscene. Oh, he looks creepy. 4 figures stand before an otherworldly apparatus, an ancient structure of chiseled adra and metallic veins, ominous and looming like a sound observer. Standing motionless in their midst is what appears to be a human body, colorless as stone or ash. The other figures gaze upon it what might be contemplation. From your vantage point, you are well obscured from their view. The figure closest to the machine stands out amongst them. A thick gray beard frames a face otherwise hidden behind a metallic mask. His faded robes are embroidered with a runic language unlike anything you've ever seen. and he wears a strange black headdress with 2 protrusions that jut out like wings of some malevolent creature.
Oathbinder, bear witness, and see this man has kept his word true to his last breath, full to his blood's last drop. Guide his soul, queen that was, and regard it among your favored. Let his life by the key be his confession. Let his death by the key be his absolution. May he walk the world ever free of the crushing weight of the book. Your brother has done his part, and you have seen the power of his contribution. I will accept no further hesitation from the rest of you. In the sight of the queen that was, will you fulfill the oath? Will you take your place beside your brother in the endless esteem of her memory that is without flaw? Step forth, and be assured of the great worth of your life's course.
That doesn't sound ominous at all. In fact, it sounds like some culty, but whoa, okay. This is extreme level culty bullshit. For an instant, the apparatus goes quiet and the air is still. Then, all at once, it erupts with a concussive surge. Light floods your vision, you are knocked to the ground. It snaps back as you land, and pain wells into the back of your skull, washing your last thoughts away into the black unconscious void. You open your eyes to a different place, another time. You stand in a circular room, grand and domed, its walls lined with adra and trimmed with copper. The style is ancient, but the chamber is unweathered. At the far end of a great pillar of adra pierces the floor from below, its shimmering texture giving the illusion of boundless depth. Circling the pillar is an apparatus much like the one you've just seen, but immense and multifaceted and intertwined. Your thoughts are yours and not yours, and they seem to exist before you think them, and they're all questions. Pressing questions, the troubling questions. Questions that must be answered. Or... At the base of the pillar now, you see a man with a thick gray beard and ceremonial robe, crowned with a strange ornamental headdress. You know this man. You're walking towards him now at a pace that is hurried, while trying not to appear so. You have something you want to ask him. One question above all. The question spins madly in your mind. You awaken to find your malaise has broken, only to be replaced with something far more concerning. Faint whispers are audible at the edge of your hearing, like a ringing in your ears that does not subside. Movement flits through your periphery, but when you turn to look, you can see no sign of whatever it was. You find your gaze regularly darting this way and that, an involuntary, paranoid tick. If this is a sickness, it may be dangerous to go without treatment for long. The figures at the machine stand frozen in place, flesh and blood replaced by cinders and ash. The man who led them is nowhere to be seen. Yodin and Kalissa lie bloody on the uneven cobbles, their bodies twisted unnaturally in death. You are alone and far from help. Gilded Vale may be your best hope of receiving treatment before things get worse. So, yeah, new mission. I managed to survive. The rest of my party did not, unfortunately. I am alone, and I am fatigued. Major fatigue, which basically means I can't hit anything, and my maximum endurance is way low. On the plus side, I can level up. So let's take care of that before we do anything else. As always, click the plus. So for our Barbarian, level 2, I want to have points in someone else will be my mechanics guy. That's the trap person. So I want athletics and I want survival. And I have, how many points do I get? 3. Or 6, sorry. I'm going to throw some points there and some points there. Now, also, every level, I get skills and talents of some sort. In this one, I am going to take this. You can see the various abilities that you get. You can either improve some of your skills, like make Frenzy better, make Carnage better, which isn't really that useful. It's just 5 accuracy, or add something called Barbaric Blow, which just hits really, really goddamn hard. We have different weapon styles, affect things. We have different defensive abilities that will be useful on a tank, which I am not, and just other random things that we're going to deal with. But we are going to take on our Barbarian because we are, I just confirm with my notes, we're going to concentrate on certain weapons. Even though I have a poleaxe now, I won't forever. So we're going to take Weapon Focus Soldier in the hopes of being a great swordsman. Trains the character in the use of great swords, pikes, warhammers, arbalests, and arbacuses. Yes, Dr. Bizarre, there's a lot of different guns in this game. I gain accuracy with all of those, so I'm more accurate with my great swords and pikes and warhammers, and the rest is just bonus.
Well?
So I'm going to loot Dear Kalissa and Dear Hilden, because I need all the money I can get. I'm going to take that armor, actually, for now. And actually, I'm going to take those potions, too. There should be another body over there.
Of course.
Oh, I got them all. All right, well. I'm unsentimental. They died. So, I need their shit. And we're going to use one of our 2 camping supplies to camp here, because I really don't want to be running around solo. But even more than that, I really don't want to be running around with major fatigue. So, when you camp, based on your survival, you restore your lost health, and you receive a camping bonus. And based on your survival, you get one of these. Racial accuracy. I'm going to keep damage reduction. You also see you only get 6 camping supplies. Depending on your difficulty, there's more or less. Well, you can have a maximum. I have 2 now, but I can have a max 6, so I'm going to have to take a rest. And I need to disappear for just one moment. I'll be right back. All right, I am better now. Thank you for your patience. All right, so we see that's where we need to go. We are a long way. Ooh, dear, hallucinations. Our eventual goal is going to be Gilded Vale. You can see the world map we're working with here. Different areas that we may or may not get to. But yeah, we're going to start by getting out of these ruins and trying to get to Gilded Vale, and hopefully Put myself back together. And yes, again, I am... Okay. Gonna grab some vessel flesh, because reasons, and... This place is creepy. Cool, Pilgrim's Crown. Always wanted that. So, we can't unfortunately head directly to Gilded Vale, so we're going to go to Valewood first. We've got to work our way there. So welcome to the Valewood. As you can see, I got a significant amount of experience there just by... Really, I just got it for doing nothing. I just got a bunch of experience, I guess, for exploring, so I'll take it. So there's a lot of encounters and different things here. Imagine that. It's an RPG with encounters. I will take your camping supplies, thank you. However, I am level 2 and I am solo. I won't always be solo, but I am solo right now, so I am going to hold off on fighting these. See a little ghost guiding me. Yep, I'm gonna follow the path. Nothing much happens here. Good chat with this gentleman.
Good day, stranger.
The man appears to be hurriedly dismantling his tent in quick, jerky motions. He looks up as you approach, his expression tense and drawn. Greetings, he says, a little breathless. On your way south, is it? The sooner you clear these woods, the better, I think. Both honest. A caravan was attacked. I've been trying to get to Gilded Vale. Hard luck, and I'm sorry to hear it. You should be fine from here. There's no missing the Vale if you keep to the road, and you haven't far to walk. But you want to keep clear of this place after that. We were just attacked, north of here. Me and a friend of mine, we came out to hunt some deer. Came up on a bear instead. Great monstrous thing, and Hurley, he didn't make it. I don't know what I'm going to tell his wife. Any case, this forest already cost me a friend. I'm heading home before it takes anything else. Who are you? Name's Naughton. Born and raised in Gilded Vale. Haven't had a spot of luck since. Luckier than Pearly, I suppose. Any case, this forest already cost me a friend. Oh, what happened to your friend? We didn't see it coming. We were following a stag. Pearly, he saw something in the brambles, and he went tearing off after it. We all but stumbled into the cave. Poor Pearly didn't stand a chance. The bear was on top of him before he knew it was happening. Beasts will take what they will, I suppose. This time, Galloway's favor fell upon the bear. Yeah, where's the bear? The cave, always up that way, northwest. I wouldn't seek it out if I were you. The great brute of a beast. I'd hate to hear that it took another life. Farewell. I could probably take on the bear, but it's a really risky fight at level 2 and solo, so I'm going to find some friends, and then I'm going to go probably investigate that bear, because I'm going to do all the side quests, or as many as I can primed. So, yeah. Anyway, let's head on. Welcome to the Gilded Vale. Pleasant looking. Oh dear. I'm all choked up. That sucks.
You must be one of the new settlers. Welcome to Gilded Vale. You'll be pleased to know that we've had some recent vacancies here.
How pleasant. I feel at home already.
Of course, we'll need to make some inquiries first. The inestimable Lord Radric VII has taken great pains to insulate our town from Widewind's legacy. Have you ever sired a Hollowborn child?
No.
Are you absolutely certain? Lord Raderick has made it his first priority to eliminate this scourge from our village. I should warn you, stranger. Here in Gilded Vale, we have a special place for dissidents, charlatans, and those who would hide a curse in our midst.
He steps to his side and inclines his head ever so slightly towards the deformed tree.
His lordship's wife is with child and due any day now. Without his approval, I shan't be able to find you a permanent settlement. It will have to wait until after the birth. We can continue our interview then, after the bell tolls from Radric's hold to signal my lord's new heir. In the meantime, you can find temporary accommodations at the inn just southwest of here.
You said something about Hollowborn and Wadewin's legacy before? I forget that you foreigners do not have this curse in your homelands. The Hollowborn have been a scourge upon the Dyrwood for almost 15 years now. Children born without souls. Pitiful, dumb things that breathe, barely, but do not truly live. Some say the Hollowborn are a disease. Some say they're a punishment from the gods. In truth, no one knows. But they begun spreading after the Saints' War, and so the name Wadewin's legacy struck in honor of that foul, blasphemous pretender. I see. Lord Radric's decrees may seem strict at times, but he has our best interests at heart. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. It's important that everyone in Gilded Vale understands our rules. Yeah, I've been feeling strange ever since a close call with the Biawak. There's someone in town who could help.
Whatever your problem, it sounds like a matter for an animancer. However, the only animancer in Gilded Vale isn't in any condition to speak. Consider yourself fortunate. After she failed Lord Radric, we saw to it that she wouldn't profit from the misplaced trust of others. A bad cure is often worse than none at all.
I see.
But if you're set on finding a bottle of troll piss or a dead Audra pebble to rub on your forehead, you're welcome to check her pockets. A little corpse stink is nothing when you're digging for shit. My advice, however, is to be satisfied that you escaped and leave it at that.
You are a pleasant human being, sir. Before I got here, I saw several people conducting a strange ceremony near some ruins. You want to mind where you mentioned that. Trespassing on Ingwithian ruins is illegal, not to mention dangerous. You probably saw someone attempting some new ritual to appease the gods. People will try anything these days. For wrath have mercy, we certainly have. Maybe. Like I said, best to stay away from those sorts of places. All right, toodles.
Keep out of...
Listen!
2 tolls. Let that be the last.
3. Gods have mercy.
It seems your arrival is ill-timed.
Oh, that's not good.
3 bells toll only for the death of a Radric. I fear Lord Radric's heir is lost, or else Hollowborn, and so lost all the same. You should tread carefully. Circumstances have changed a great deal.
What happened? I would know more details when the messengers arrive. The vagaries of childbirth, perhaps. But that's not your concern. What do you mean? You come to us at a time of mourning. The legacy has struck at the heart of the Gilded Vale. Our efforts to redeem ourselves in the Eye of Barath must be redoubled. Does this affect the Lord's offer to new settlers? I can be sure of nothing right now. I advise you to get some rest, the inn, or a stable for all I care. Find me afterwards. I will know more soon enough. Okay, farewell. Well, okay, he's telling me to go to the stables. That seems like a good idea. Or an inn. Hello, smoking man.
Were you looking for someone in that tree? I could introduce you.
A strange way to talk about your dead. Well, half the town's up there now, seems like. No right way to talk about it. I'm looking for someone who can help me feel better. My condolences. Oh, alright. Well, let's, there's lots of interesting things to see and do here, but I would like to make some friends first, so let's go to the inn and do that. This is a very, very depressing place. Where's the inn? You see 4 people gathered by the door to the inn. Their raised voices and chopping gestures suggest an argument reaching its climax. First figure raises his hand for calm. His face is partially obscured by a hood, but his height and stature suggest an elf.
I meant no offense. Let's put this matter to rest over a round, shall we? My treat.
Hoping to soothe our pride with a few Adira coppers, eh? We don't need your coin.
Okay. Everyone calm down, whatever this is about. Sure, it's an overreaction. One of the other men glares to the hooded elf. His eyes are red from drink, but his gaze is focused. We're humble folk, but we're not fools. Not like he thinks, mocking us while he shelters in our village. We don't take that kind of talk from foreigners, especially not Adirians.
Go on. Say it again. I'm itching for an excuse.
Fie, you're itching for the kindling touch of your sister, you cocksfeather!
Oh, okay.
I'll cut that barrel-licking tongue out of your head.
That was a different voice.
This is a misunderstanding. I didn't say whatever it is you think I said. We've nigh quarrel.
That's where you're wrong.
I don't think attacking him is such a good idea. And why is that? If someone's baiting you as obviously as he is, it's generally wisest to walk away. They look at each other. One of the men gives the other 2 a warning shake of his head before turning to you. We're done for now. But this one better watch his step around here, because we're not going anywhere. Well, that went well. As the 3 stumble away, the elf turns to you, the tension almost gone from his smooth face.
Not quite how I hoped to get to know the neighbors. Thank you for your timely assistance with that awkward situation.
I'm glad I could help.
Courtesy is a rare pleasure in these parts, though your accent suggests that you are no more local than I.
He straightens his hood, and you notice the remains of frayed embroidery on his gloves. His boots are caked with the dirt of many months' travel, but the leatherwork beneath it is sturdy and fine.
Well, I suppose introductions are in order after that little fiasco. Aloth Corvisor, at your service.
Ah, tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm a wizard by training, and an adventurer by necessity. I was born in the Seathwood, part of the mainland of the Adir Empire, and both of my parents served the nobility, which afforded me an education for which I'm grateful. However, there were no open positions in those houses, and so I decided to seek new means in a new land. And how exactly did you come to be here?
I was traveling with a caravan, but we were separated near some ruins.
In Gwithan ruins? Well, those can be dangerous places during the best of times, which these are not. In half the locals would arrest you for trespassing, and the rest would kill you outright. I'm curious, what exactly did you find there?
A biawak.
And you survived? I've heard such a thing was impossible. But it seems you either have a knack for timing or the favor of the gods.
What are you doing in Gilded Vale?
An excellent question. I came looking for fresh air and cheap land. Instead, the magistrate gave me directions to the inn and a story about the local lord's expectant wife. But I take it that's a familiar tale.
And you? Like you said, I'm also a settler.
Indeed. In that case, welcome to Gilded Vale, a true refuge from civilization.
How did you manage to cross those 3 drugs?
I'm afraid that was a matter of misunderstandings and mistranslations. It doesn't help that people in these parts remember their war with Adir like it was yesterday.
Well, you did make a rather lewd suggestion regarding one of the aggressors and his own sister. Ah, that. As I tried to tell them, they misheard me. Happens all too easily after a few pints, and the accent doesn't help. Yeah, I heard it too, buddy. I should speak more clearly next time. My apologies. You really don't look like a settler, bud.
Begging your pardon, but neither do you. Yet, circumstances can find a person in the strangest of places.
Yeah, I should get going.
As should I, given recent events. It's just as well. I've had enough of the watered wine and lumpy beds at the inn. They say even the owner tired of the place. Just up and left one day. It explains quite a lot about the upkeep. Perhaps I could join you. I could use a change of scenery, and I find it's better to travel in numbers.
You're true, that's true. So do I. Let's go then.
Excellent. I shall follow you.
So, one of the great features of this game, one of the many great features that they added in a later patch, is that you get to build your characters from scratch no matter when they join you. So, I am going to build Aloth here from level... Well, I guess I have to... I can't do level 1, but I get to do level 2, which is something. And in the tradition of this game being weird and having weird character choices, like, you know, a barbarian who's high on int, I'm going to make my mechanics guy a wizard. So he's going to be the one that unlocks things for me. Alright, I don't know what spells I have, which is unfortunate. I have to pick new ones. I want... Where's my notes? I want Chill Fog, Parasitic Staff, Eldritch Aim, Slicken, and Wizard's Double. Chill Fog. There's a blindingly white, icy fog into existence, inflicting blindness and freeze damage over time to any of this area of effect. AoE. It's a glowing quarterstaff, pure energy for the wizard to wield, granting a bonus chance to hit and giving the wizard endurance of each successful strike. That sounds fun. Grants the caster otherworldly sight, resulting in preternatural accuracy for a short period. We have Jolting Touch, which is a very low level of Chain Lightning. We have a Touch spell that does that. just does freeze damage and minus 10 accuracy. A lot of this is crowd control. Coats the ground in a slick, oil-like substance, inflicting knockdown on anyone in the area of effect. Is that... I wonder if that is party safe. Do I want Chill Fog? Let's go with Grease. Or the Pillars of Eternity version of Grease. Slicken. As always, we also have a talent because it's level 2. We have slight differences, but not too much. You can still take a weapon focus if you want, or you can take a class talent. Arcane Veil puts a shield on, 2 per rest. Grimoire Slam basically allows you once per encounter to hit him with a fucking book. And Blast generates a blast on the target when using wand, rod, or scepter, doing a modest amount of damage to all enemies in a small area around the target. That sounds fun. It's an faux AoE, so it's party safe. I can dump it on anyone. Yeah, we're going to do that. I like Blast. Welcome to the party, Aloth. We're going to continue doing a straight line. Here we are, the Black Hound. Floorboards are sticky with spills that no one's bothered to clean. Wasn't that funny background character? Anyway, Aloth is a wizard. A pretty decent one, actually, and also the only wizard I have. He has his own... He's equipped with his own magical leather armor, property overseeing. Which basically means his AoEs are just a little bit bigger. You get the lockpicks, buddy, because you're the lockpick guy. You also see the spells that I picked up, including the one that I added. So, known spells. We have Archimere's Dazzling Light, which decreases their will and dazes people. Fan of Flames, which is Burning Hands. Again, not party safe. We have Minnaletta's Minor Missiles, which is Magic Missile. And we have Slicken and Wizard Double. Create a duplicate of the caster. Alright, and you can see here, we know all of these spells, but we can only cast what's in his Grimoire. And then the Grimoire recharges on rest. So I can cast each of these spells. I can cast them 4 times. Right, is that how it works? But yeah, it has to be in the Grimoire for me to cast it. But I can learn any number of spells. I can also pick up other grimoires, or have multiple grimoires if I want, to allow me to have more spells, if I so choose. Cool. Let's have a look around. See, there is loot. No one cares if I take anything. You will see throughout the game people with yellow names. And they are kind of neat, actually. I'm probably honestly going to try to meet most of them. But they are people that were put in the game for the original Kickstarter backers. I don't know if the story was that they, I I don't remember what the exact reward was, but
Well?
these people are related to the Kickstarter. If you want to remind me in the comments on YouTube, go ahead. I forget. So as you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this woman's soul. Voices from the past seem to call out to you. See a woman emptying her satchel onto the bed, taking stock of her inventory. Potions, bandages, tinctures, herbs are scattered throughout her room haphazardly. She bites her lip, head tilted to the side, considering. She begins to repack one item after the other, careful deliberation undercut by shaking hands. Each item is a clearly marked place, but no matter how she repacks it, she isn't satisfied. Shaking worsens as she empties it out once more, one hand held to her mouth. Tears eke from her eyes as she gives up all semblance of order and shoves everything she can in the satchel, grabbing it and running out of the bare house. Straightening her back, she walks to the docks, chin high, eyes hard and red. A gangly young elf offers her condolences, but she can't see him for the ocean ahead of her. She wanders the docks, offering her services as a doctor to anyone who will listen, anyone heading out on high tide. Less than an hour later, she watches her childhood disappear in the distance, a tiny speck of an island. Tries not to jump. So yeah, everyone has a little story. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this man's soul. You see a group of young men standing around a makeshift practice target. The man stands in the middle of them, explaining the construction and use of a bow. He holds it up, pointing at each part as he speaks about it and what it does. He then walks away from the target, telling them to remain where they are. He takes his place about 200 feet away. Carefully lines up his shot, explaining what he's doing as he does, and lets the arrow fly. It hits the target dead center, much to the surprise and delight of the boys near it. He smiles, walking towards the boys, talking about proper stance and how to effectively hold a bow. A noise comes from the tree line near their practice venue, and he stops, skating the woods, blue eyes squinting against the sun. A shadow moves, making its way towards the forest behind them. He draws an arrow and lines up the shot, carefully tracking the motion of the hidden creature. Loosing the arrow, he wastes no time and quickly grabs another. The boys spin, watching the arrow fly into the forest, immediately lost amongst the trees. There is a sudden, explosive movement in the undergrowth as a deer erupts from the tree line, running across the edge of the clearing. The boys laugh, turning to joke with the man about his lousy shot. Stop talking, see him holding the bow and leading the deer with a knocked arrow. They drop to the ground as he looses his last arrow, which flies true and strikes the deer right behind the shoulder, piercing heart and lungs and dropping it dead almost immediately. The man stares at the deer for a few seconds and then slowly turns to look at the man, newfound respect in their eyes. He smiles again and breathes a quiet sigh of relief. Some of them have good stories, some of them have bad stories, but it's all a little bit of CRPG slice of life. I'm not going to read all those aloud because there's a lot of them. If I'm going to take a look at them all, and then if you want to read them, pause the stream and catch up later. If you're watching this on YouTube, pause the video. I'm gonna see them all, but there's no real benefit to it. You don't gain anything from it, and none of them have any story implications whatsoever. To my knowledge, if there's one that's important, I'll read it aloud. Excuse me. Gotta be careful and make sure frickin' wizard doesn't get out in front. Ooh, a book. 10 Years of Dawn. Just like Baldur's Gate, just like Baldur's Gate 3, there's a lot of game lore that is tied to books and reading. So, 10 years I tilled the Vorless Leaf, and 10 years I told myself that living in St. Wedwin's footsteps would bring me rebirth. Each dawn I'd pray, but if thou art in darkness, he shall bring thee light, and each night would bring the same emptiness. My decade of living as a simple dye farmer, all I had to show for it was a great deal of purple clothing. Eothas had not spoke to us since he appeared at St. Wedwin. It was my hope that Eotheus would claim me as his next vessel, but alas, the Child of Light remained silent. Each day I practice the ritual of banishing the shadows of the unfaithful, and each day I work my field in solitude without sight of elves returning. If thou art in darkness, he shall bring thee light. But how long must I remain lost in this long night of abandonment? Is this my punishment for keeping my faith a secret? Is Eothas hiding from me now until I shout my reverence for all to hear? Surely he must know that the Dwardians now hate him and his followers. My countrymen are quick to blame all that was terrible about the Saints' War and those who are still faithful to Eothas. Do not be angry at the Ridsera soldiers? Do the Dyrwoodens not realize that to dismiss the god of rebirth and redemption is to prevent all hope of healing? As I pen these words, I know that I must continue to till the dye leaf. I will awake each day with hope. If thou art in darkness, he shall bring me light. Each day I will pray that the dawn stars visit me just as they visit St. Waidwin in the field of his Borlus. They come to me as they came to St. Waidwin, man and 2 women, luminescent and perfect. I am told they come to presage new times, hold many things, and struggle to find the faith to believe it all. Yet each morning the sun rises in the eastern sky, and each morning Eothas illuminates my simple plot of land, casting away the shadows of the unfaithful in his golden gaze. I thank thee, Eothas, for all the springs I've had, all that will come. I'm in darkness. Please, light. Give me your book.
I'll see what I can do.
And yes, we have lockpicks. You just need to... You can see here, this is a difficulty 3 lock. You can see, based on your mechanics score, how many lockpicks you'll need. I have 6. Since Aloth has 3 mechanics, that means I'll need to use 1 lockpick.
I'll have it in no time. The work of a moment.
It is a resource test rather than anything else. So, I get turquoise. I get some fun stuff here. You know what? Actually, no, I'm not. I just realized there's a person here. Please leave me be. I'm full of sickness to what I've seen of his place and people.
Of course. Well?
Here, in an empty room, crammed behind the books is a drawing that shows Eothas and Lord Raedric in a compromising position.
I'll have it in no time. The work of a moment.
So for that, since I have a higher mechanic skill than the lock difficulty, it cost me nothing. And I'm going to give some of this stuff to you. Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
I like a duelist hat. That sounds cute. See here the BCR of stuff I've managed to kill so far. There we go. I look even more ridiculous. Put that in there. Rapier, which I'm no good with. And I'm going to equip that scale mail. Even though it makes me slower. Because I have not much slower. I have yet to get a tank other than me. So again, for books as well, I'm going to leave them on screen for a minute, scroll them through. If you want to read them, feel free to pause the stream or pause the video if you end up watching this on YouTube. Anyway, get a bunch more lockpicks, get a book.
As you wish.
I'll eventually sell to fund something. Anyway, we see 2 more yellow characters. Well, that's unpleasant.
What is it?
Where's Aloth?
Hi?
Buddy, what are you doing over there? Get over here.
What is it?
And then we have a puppy. These bones are covered in tiny bite marks. The hound stares intently at the covered window, head cocked as if waiting to hear a particular sound. It looks up when you approach and whines a low note, tail wagging slightly. You're gonna pet it. Dog's tail thumps happily against the floorboards. All right, I gotta head back downstairs. Some kind of brown slop is congealing in his dishes. It smells burnt. Alright, so there is...
I'll see what I can find.
If I recall. Yep, there it is. Something in here. Since there's no one in here right now, I can take it. So, gold rot chew, staple of the Dyrwood countryside. Gold rot chew is a favorite of farmers who swear by the minor boost in energy it provides. Those who use it often find that they feel sluggish when they stop. The chew is made from the root of the golden celery plant. Like I said, this world does not have a drinking problem. This world has a drug problem. And Elder Jane. All right. This is Pascal.
Hail, traveler.
Oh, greetings and welcome to the Black Hound Inn. Please sit where you like. Like a drink or a room? We have 2 available at the moment. I'm afraid we can't offer much in the way of a good meal today. Unless you're fond of cold porridge. Okay, let's talk about what we have here. I'd like to know more about the Black Hound. Really? Well, let me see. Actual building's been here for years, but the Black Hound's fairly new. Get a lot of new faces in here, too. Here than we used to, I'll admit. I used to work the tables, actually, until the poor owner up and left. Nobody's sure what happened to him. He even left his poor hound behind. That's the name, see? Black Hound. Still sitting upstairs pining after him, poor old girl. Place ended up in my hands somehow. My very own inn. A lot of hard work involved, but worth it so far. Oh, you only serve porridge? Isn't by choice, I assure you. We used to serve some of the finest meals in the Dyrwood. Had a damnable run of luck is all. Been a bad season for the crops, and we're running low on supplies. I sent Tenfrith up north to stock up. Tenfrith's our cook, you see. An artist with a good roast, but it's been days since he was supposed to return, and we haven't seen any sign of him. I'll only just take it over from the last owner myself. Don't know what I'll do if he doesn't turn up. I can try to find him for you. Really? Grateful if you did. Traveling through the Vale would. Probably nothing. Broken wheel, maybe. But I do worry. You see him safely home, and I think everyone in here would sing your praises. Nobody much likes my porridge. That's a side quest. That's farewell for now. I want that dog.
Well met, friend.
Oh, I guess I can't get the dog. That's a shame. Well, the good news is there are plenty of pets in Pillars of Eternity, so if I can't get the dog, well then. Alright, well let us... I could use some reliable help. Know anyone looking for work? Oh, well, I wouldn't say I can speak from experience, but we do have certain sorts coming by looking for work from time to time. If you want to hire someone on, I'd be happy to send them your way. You have to work with. So we can hire people. We're not going to, because we're going to bring a party of real NPCs with all their faults. But you can definitely hire people if you feel like your party's missing something. We also have a store. They don't sell much, but they are more than willing to take all my crap. Which is really the most important thing. No, I'm gonna not sell the helmet. I'll use the helmet. What else? Yeah, I'm gonna sell you drugs. I am a drug smuggler. I'll probably get demonetized. Actually, no, I can't be demonetized because I'm not even monetized. But still, you know what I mean. No one will look at my video. Give me money. Whew. Now I have a large amount of money. Now to progress the plot, I have to do what I'm told and just go to sleep. Allows me to sleep without using camping supplies, and I have the money, but I'm not going to use it. So I'm just going to use the common room because I really don't need to be fancy. So let's see what happens when I rest. Sleep is restless and fevered, assaulted by hisses and whispers, blanketed with a suffocating anxiety. You open your eyes to awaken and find yourself in front of Gilded Vale's gallows tree. Creaking of its ropes growing louder in your mind until the sound is deafening. Hanging from the tree is an old dwarf woman whose face is shriveled inward like a moldering fruit. Her head hangs limply to one side. As you look at her, she looms larger and larger in your mind until she's mere inches from your face. Suddenly, her head snaps up and her eyes open, and they're empty, and behind them is a vast nothingness that makes your stomach drop. Her mouth slowly parts, and with a gust of rancid air, she speaks a word. Watch her. You jolt awake, the foul smell of the dwarf woman's breath still permeating your nostrils. Sweat runs down your face in thick droplets, and your skin is soaked from head to toe. You remember the woman. You remember seeing her decaying face when you spoke to the magistrate. Called her an animancer. Though it fills you with a new queasy apprehension, you find a strange compulsion to see this woman once more, if only to confirm she is truly dead. You eat corn the long. I am so proud of you, Paul. That takes a strong man to admit that you eat corn the long way. How does that? You just deep throat the cob? No, you won't. You won't actually. Oh boy. Okay. Congrats on your corn. How is Ark? Please don't die on a grain. As you see, Swamp Candy has much more filtering on her Twitch stream than I do. There is no how is Ark. There's only more Ark. The dinosaurs must flow. That looks like who I'm supposed to talk to, so let's do it. The squat, distended body of an elderly dwarf woman dangles from a thin, crooked bow that sags at the tug of her noose. The bloated purple flesh of her neck, worn away in patches like moth-eaten linen, bulges over the rope that suspends her, and her lifeless head lolls forward rigidly from one side to the other when the breeze shifts. You perceive a faint glow around her that casts no light on its surroundings, but there is a tepid warmth to it. And you feel somehow that you could reach out and touch it, not with your hands, but with some aspect of yourself that has no worldly dimension. Sure, let's reach out to the dead woman. What's the worst that could possibly happen? Take a deep breath, clearing your mind, focusing on your objective. As you exhale, you find yourself spreading out towards the hanging woman, perceiving all that lies between you and her with new, unfamiliar awareness. Once you've expanded enough to reach her, there's a sudden jolt to your mind, a ringing, electric surge of images and words and sounds. Involuntarily, you shut your eyes and feel yourself being pulled down to some deeper consciousness in a space occupied only by you and the hanging woman. And when you open them again, she's staring at you with eyes clouded in a milky fog. Body still swaying in a wind you no longer feel. A tree that stands planted in a milky void. The woman gives a slow nod of her head, the rope creaking as she does so, and she smiles at you.
Have you come here for me, dear? Or have you gotten lost? Ah, it is both, I think. Yes?
Creepy little dwarf woman. Am I imagining this?
No, I think not. A pity that. It would be simpler. A mercy even. To not have to wander anymore, no? Alas, we are here, you and I. Wherever here may be.
Yeah, you did. You're hanging. How are you able to speak to me?
Is that what we're doing? Perhaps it just seems that way. Perhaps it is the easiest way for your mind to make sense of it. I think it is a very good choice.
I need to understand something that's happened to me.
The world looks a little different than it used to, is that it? Feels like you're noticing things for the first time that have always been there. You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body, like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
Delightful. What's a watcher?
What indeed? Long hours have many animancers spent studying such things. Not I, though. Not I. I'll tell you what I know, though, since fair is fair, and here we are visiting, you and I, and it reminds me of better times. Souls pass on, some say through Audra stones, which are the blood veins of the world. They leave the world for a time and are reborn into it, sometimes more than they were before, but usually less and seldom the same. For all souls there is a time where they do not live, yet have not passed on, and those souls roam the world, same as you or I, either leaving or lost. But no one sees them because they have forgotten how.
No.
A watcher sees, though, knows what to look for. And sometimes they know a person just by looking at them, know where they've been in ages past when their bodies were other bodies. See memories even their owner can't recall. A wonder to behold when all goes well. A wonder!
That is a heavy phrase there. What did you mean when all goes well?
Oh, nothing to be afraid of, I'm sure. It's just much to take in for some. Sometimes there's trouble sleeping or other difficulties.
I feel like I'm being taught something by my mother.
You should see old Meerwald. He could tell you much more than I. A watcher just like you. Helped many in his day. Took up in an old keep no one would claim. Not far, not far. Kadnua, beyond the Black Meadow. He will welcome the company.
I think I survived a Biawak. Do you know why that would be?
Did you now, dear? My, that would be something, wouldn't it? Could be luck, could certainly be. A storm can be a careless thing. Or maybe it got its hands around your soul but couldn't pick it up. A soul can be heavy if it stayed in one piece through its time. Strong souls, we call them in the trade. Cold, I mean. Called them. Those days are all behind me, no?
You say souls break apart over time?
Oh, yes. Entropy. Rimagan's work. We know little of why or how. We lose pieces of ourselves when we die and pick up pieces of others when we are born again, but less than what we lost. We tried to stop it with the animantic sciences, but with little success. No. A very small few resist Rimergan's influence and stay together through some force of defiance, at least for a time. But they all succumb eventually, I think.
Delightful. I want to know more about you.
Me? I'll bore you to tears, though.
Oh, you're a talking corpse on a tree, so I'm not bored. Who are you?
And here I thought you'd come to visit me in particular. Caldara de Baranzi, of the Valian Royal Academy of Animantic Sciences. Not the greatest of their number, but I came here all the same because this was where help was needed.
What happened to you? He laughs, a rasping, choked cackle, escaping between rows of buttery yellow teeth, causing her body to bob up and down with each spasm. Seeing your blank expression, she catches herself.
Oh, come now, such a question, as though the answer were plain as a rope tied for strangling. Allow an old dwarf her last bit of cheer. Well, I came where I was needed, didn't I? Offered my services to Lord Radric for a pittance, a humble pittance. I was to examine the Lord's wife, see why the gods have seen fit to poison her womb. Studied her for months, looked high and low for impurities, tested her valence, the permeability of her essence. Do you know what I found?
I'm guessing, fuck all. Tell me.
Nothing at all. A healthy woman, head to toe, blessed with a beautiful soul. Such a sweet woman, too. Meek, but warm-hearted. A few months' time, and the lord of the house demanded answers. For a time, I told him what he wanted to hear. Oh, yes, my lord, she is riddled with imbalances. I must have time to cure her. As the birth drew near, he grew impatient, as lords do. And this is where I've ended up.
I see. What's an animancer?
A student of the soul. Something so basic, yet so poorly understood. But so many breakthroughs have been made in my lifetime. Had been. To hear the locals tell it, we're a gang of soul manglers that preys upon the weak-minded. And the worst of us are. But the best of us? The best? Inspirations, miracle workers. My parents were soul twins. Miserable before they met, empty inside. It was an animancer who helped one find the other, turned their lives around. You wouldn't believe the stories. Amnesiacs helped to remember their lives. The suicidal brought back from the brink of oblivion. The elderly afforded extra moments to say their goodbyes. How soon we forget when we're afraid. It's a fascinating science. A fascinating time to be alive in a place like Dyrwood that does not control the research, no? I love the Valian republics for many things, but their recent caution will leave them behind, I fear.
I had other questions. I'm done with you.
Of course, dear.
You creepy dead dwarf. Thank you for your time.
Goodbye, my dear. It was lovely visiting.
Caldera closes her eyes and her head slumps forward over the noose, and your surroundings seem to bleed into your vision from some unknown place of waiting. Cool. What's that? Are you alright? You seemed lost just now. I'm a watcher? Well, that is interesting. And I expect it explains how you survived a bivouac, In any case, I appreciate your honesty. Since we're traveling together, it's probably wise for us to share these things. I guess. Do you know anything about the Watchers? Only that they're rare and that they seem to have unique insights into certain soul conditions, as you've just demonstrated. Let's continue. Did I just gain a level? I did! Huzzah! Alright. Well, let's talk to...
17 and a half.
We'll get back to you in a minute.
I have received confirmation that Lord Radric's heir was not born well. My lord has issued an injunction on all new homesteads until he can be assured that the village has been cleansed of all Eothasians and whatever other undesirables that have brought this curse upon his lands. It would be best if you left town as soon as possible. I would suggest returning to your old home. There will be no place for you here. You may stay at the inn until you can make the necessary arrangements, but I would not advise remaining long. I expect Lord Radric will be most thorough in his efforts to purify this place.
That's concerning. Tell me about Lord Radric. He comes from a line of nobles who have defended these lands since 80 times. Radric II was an early supporter of Dyrwoodian independence during the Revolution, and the current lord's father perished in the Saints' War. Hollowborn began appearing in the Dyrwood shortly after the war's end. Lord Radric had taken upon itself to purge the curse from Gilded Vale. His measures have been severe, but necessary. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear to have been enough to protect his heir. Saints' War? Our age's most egregious example of man's madness. 15 years ago, the people of Red Ceres decided that Waidwen, their living saint, was the literal incarnation of the god Eothas. This supposed saint took it upon himself to liberate the Dyrwood, supposedly from allegiances to less worthy gods, but I've never known an army to conquer a land for its people's own good. War lasted about a year, but you can guess what that year did to worship of Eothas in the Dyrwood. Lord Radric's forebears had all been Athosians, but after his father fell defending us from those fanatics, he personally saw that the Temple of Eothas here in town was shut down. If you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. Goodbye. I'll leave town. Who are you, smoking men? The smell of pipe smoke, at once earthy and sweet, winds its way into your nostrils. Your eyes trace the smoke to its origin, where you find a broad man with straw-colored hair leaning against a mossy rock wall, his pipe held to his lips with one meaty hand. He looks at you directly in the eye, but the look is not aggressive. He regards you with a peculiar smirk.
17 and a half. Well, could be 18, depending on how you count the dwarf woman.
I'm sorry?
The dwarf woman. You were trying to figure out whether to count her as a full person. I think you oughta.
Oh, I ate her. What are you talking about?
The people hanging from the tree. 18 of them. Well, last I counted, anyway.
Is that what you people do for fun around here?
Name's Adair. Though to the people around here, might as well be 19. Don't think I'd put you much higher than 22, 23 tops. You look like the sort that likes to get involved.
What makes you think I was interested in the dwarf woman?
I was smoking over here, saw you staring at her. Twice I refilled my pipe. You never so much as blinked. Your mouth was so slack I took you for a Radric at first.
Impossible. I don't drool half as much. So you're already familiar. Still, you have to forgive my curiosity. Round here, we prefer to turn a blind eye to our dead. You know what a watcher is?
Careful, friend. Best not use that word round here. Could be any number of Radric bootlickers within earshot. Ciphers, animancers, watchers. Same thing in the eyes of folks around here, Radric especially. They come through these parts all the time with their cures, preying on the desperate. None of them are who they claim to be. Of course, seeing you with that funny look, I'd be halfway inclined to believe you were having some kind of communion with that dwarf. Either case, maybe I'm not 19 after all. No offense.
None taken. Good. They don't mean it personal when they hang folks here. I have to remind myself.
The town's had it in for me for a long time now. Only fellow who ever stuck up for me, well, he's number 18 up there. My headman on the farm. Used to be my captain during the war.
The war? Saints' War. Only one in my lifetime. Fellow decides he's a living incarnation of Eothas. Overthrows Red Ceres, marches on Dyrwood. We gave him a Dyrwooden hello. What's a Dyrwooden hello, pray tell?
We blew him up.
Who is Eothas? God of rebirth and redemption. Formerly, anyhow. Maybe they call him something different from where you're from. Why was your headman hanged? Got involved. Radric sent men down here the other day. Said they had it on good authority someone in town was working with Coles, plotting Radric's overthrow. Said if he didn't come forward right then and there, they'd hang every last one of us. No one was coming forward. So, Swithwin, that's my headman, he steps up and said it was him. They took him at his word. Bound to happen sooner or later. If not for plotting against Radric, then protecting me. Who's Kolsk? Someone who got tired of all the hangings. He's on the run now. Probably will be till they catch him. What's the town have against you?
Pick the wrong god. That's what it comes down to. Used to be a lot of Aethys worshippers in Gilded Vale. That mess of rocks over there, that was a temple to him, to give you some idea. Then one day, somebody named Widewind shows up on Dyrwood's doorstep. Says he's the living flesh of Aethys. Got an army with him. Suddenly, Aethys isn't so popular in these parts. My brother Woden and me, neither of us believed it. No way was that Aethys. He enlisted, and then I did too. But, he didn't make it back. After the war, people took to punishing Aethys worshippers, accusing them of treason. Got real ugly, especially after the legacy started. Folks needed someone to blame. I was safe because I fought, but then this rumor starts that my brother, that he was on the wrong side. And I wasn't so safe anymore. Until my headman stepped in and said they'd have to hang him to get to me. Seems that's no longer a concern. Of course, the townies don't do the hanging these days, but when Radric's men come, they got no problem doing the pointing.
You can see why I was eager to leave. Well, if you're next to be hanged, what are you still doing here? Drinking, mostly. Point of fact, I'm on my way out. Just haven't figured out where I'm going yet. Not a whole lot of places out there, but I don't think Wadewin's legacy started with Wadewin. Well, we could travel together. Where are you headed? Someplace called Caed Nua. There's an old watcher there who might be able to help me.
Seem to remember hearing something about that years ago. He tamed that place. People would seek him out for all kinds of things. Troubles of the soul, questions for the departed. Of course, that was back when you didn't have to say watcher with a hush on your breath. A man such as that, there'd be things I'd want to ask him. Don't know why I never thought of it before. Not sure how I feel about setting out with a stranger, and a strange one at that. But truth be told, you might be the only one in town who wouldn't feel some relief seeing me swing from that tree.
That's a finer reason if I ever heard one.
All right, then. Guess I'll do some sightseeing. Long as you're not the one picking the sights.
Let's get going. All right, welcome to the party. Ader. Ader is a fighter. And a very little effective one. So he comes pre-equipped with, again, magic armor. Basically, he gets extra DR. It's scale mail, just like mine, but extra DR on piercing damage and second chance at unconscious. Once per rest, he pops back up after he goes unconscious. Ader ordered his armor during his time in the Saints' War. Dark color is unusual, as is its power. Though he admits that the armor has pulled him from the brink of death on several occasions, he claims that no one has ever handled the armor. It became enchanted as a mystery, even to him. So he's got a saber and a medium shield, and he can throw. He's got a warbow in his extra slot, so. But he's going to be our tank. That's what he's good at. That's what he's going to be built as. Take a helmet, buddy. Let's level him up. He's starting from 1. We're taking survival. We're taking athletics. Now this is level 2, so we want him to do... what do we want him to do? I have an ability called Knockdown that does, well, you saw what it did with Kalissa. So he's got this. This gives him an extra 1, so he has 2 per encounter. That's the ability she had. But I am going to take Rapid Recovery. Boosts the fighter's hardiness, increasing the rate of his or her constant recovery. 37.8 times endurance over 45 seconds. As well, it also adds just a constant... Basically, it gives him regen. It's a regen, a permanent regen. So yes, please. Level 3. Let's throw some points in survival athletics again. He is going to take Confident Aim. This is fighter-specific abilities. Defender basically means he's less of a tank, but he can fight more things at once. He also has Guardian Stance, where he isn't as accurate, but he makes everybody else more defensive. And Confident Aim, though, steadies the fighter's arm, causing a percentage of the grazes to be converted to hits and increasing the minimum damage for melee weapons. So, does more damage. I like DPS. Alright, and my Barbarian, level to 3. Also picking up Athletics and Survival. We are taking with you Savage Defiance. We have Barbaric Yell, which we still are learning. We could have learned level 1. It's an AoE Frighten. Not interested. Blooded. More damage when we are half health or less. I don't like being half health, so I don't think I'm going to take that. And Wild Sprint is basically a charge. But we're taking Savage Defiance. Once per encounter, I get a large amount of endurance back. I don't regenerate health, but I get endurance. So that's handy. And Aloth, dear Aloth, is going to take Lore and Mechanics. I get 2 spells now. Again, I've just learned, it's level 3. I have learned level 2 spells. So let's see here. No, I don't have any of these, so which ones do I want? So Combusting Wounds is a party-friendly AoE that does a fire dot to everyone, which sounds like a lot of fun. Fetid Caress. The target becomes paralyzed, afflicted with boiling pustules of foul-smelling liquid. Drop from their skin, sickening those nearby. So I take one guy out of the fight and sicken everyone else. And what about Merciless Gaze? That's also fun. Curse of Blackened Sight. Shrouds the target's vision in total darkness, blinding them. AoE blindness. Let's take Fetid Caress and Combusting Wounds. Alright. And because they're the only spells I know, they automatically go in the grimoire. So we have as many casts as we need for this. How many casts? Yeah, so I have 4 level 1 spells and 2 level 2 spells, but I can cast the spells as many times as I want. I don't have to individually memorize them like I do in D&D. Where did that come from? Oh, that's fun. Okay, good to know. Well, I'm going to have to throw Slicken on there anyway. I have a spell that I don't know in my grimoire. That's always handy. It's a good place for it. Alright, let's throw our fighter up at the front. Let's make sure we're still using a straight line. We are. Let's go back to the inn real quick.
Hey.
Excuse me. We're gonna go back and see if we can get that dog. There he is. Puppy! The hound stares intently at the crowded window, head cocked as if waiting to hear a particular sound. It looks up when you approach and whines a low note, tail wagging slightly. I could use a good dog. Here, girl. Dog's ears perk up, trots over to you and barks happily. So...
Hey.
Hey. Small dog has a glossy black cloak and an affable disposition. Trots along at your heels, gazing up devotedly whenever you come to a stop. Is there a pet slot? No. You have a pet slot? There it is. So you'll notice that on my main character, I have a slot that is just for pets. They don't do anything.
All right, then.
But they still follow around my characters.
Hey.
They can't be hurt. They just exist.
What are you before venturing forth?
You must gather your party before venturing forth. Was that the same voice as the original one? Anyway, not sure how much more we're going to get done. We're coming up on the 3-hour mark of the stream, which is where I usually like to stop. But let's go... Blackhammer Smithy sounds fun. I do need to pick up another greatsword. All kinds of stuff to loot in here, but then those guards would get really, really angry. Also, we have 2 yellow boxes. Let's see what they have to say. that guy is talking about being a chanter. Of a guard. Alright. This Almana man is of impressive build, towering above the countertop. His skin is a dusky blue of the deeper oceans. Thick arms boast corded muscle. Small ears frame a square-jawed face coated in smeared soot and arcing back black tattoos alike. Offers you a broad smile as you approach. Welcome. You're the first new face I've seen in quite some time. What can I do for you? You've come to us at a strange time, I'm afraid. Stock's not what it used to be. We find weapons and armors to offer yet, all forged right here at the Black Hammer. What happened? We just don't have the supplies. Been expecting the next delivery for near on a week now, and haven't seen a sign of it. I have to expect they were hit by bandits. Road out east is crawling with them. One of my workers ran off with the wagon themselves, maybe to make some coin. As if that lot would dare. He's right about the bandits. Dire situation in villages like this and the exodus to the cities has created far too many opportunities for unscrupulous sorts. If you happen to be headed that way, maybe you can keep an eye out for a supply wagon? Or my shipment, at least. They'd be cutting through the Black Meadow, I expect. Only good road for it. As it is, most of our weapons go to His Grace Lord Radric. And that's how it should be. But it doesn't leave much for outsiders. We just don't have the iron. But I'll see them back safe and sound. I'd appreciate your trying anyhow. You bring back the supplies at least, and I'll have much more to offer you. A discount to start. And if you do find my workers, give them a good smack upside the head for me. Oh, there's another side quest.
Welcome.
I'd like to see your wares, please. Alright, what have you got, anyway? Jenna's lance. It's gonna inflict prone. Alright. Built-in touch and critical hit, but it's a stiletto. Alright, well, that's no use to me. But I do need a greatsword, because that's what my barbarian specializes in. Ooh, only usable by paladin, which I don't have yet. Interesting. All right, well, those are good for now. And deflection, ring of protection, cool, but I can't afford them yet. Evil withdrawal. Summons animat. I don't know what an animat is, but that's fun. Let's grab a rope. Let's grab a pry bar, because you always need those at some point, right? And we trade. Cool. Those on the main character. You take that sword, and that goes in there. All right, cool.
Hey.
All right, let's move on then. We've at least fixed our weapon situation for the moment. Ader can use anything at this point. We haven't specialized him, so a saber will do. unless I happen to find anything magical. But that'll do just fine. And then scepters and wands are Alof's business, so I'm good with that. Next, let's head up to the windmill. See what kind of trouble we can get into. I know I was told to leave town, but I see no reason to leave yet. Now, we know there's more grain in there, Trumbull. We won't settle for scraps while you grow fat in our crops. The first of you drunkards comes through that door gets a shot between the eyes. Gods, hear me, Swainer. I'll put you down like a dog. I'm away for now, lads, but we'll be back, Trumbull. We have fair prices or by the flame. We'll have a reckoning. Ooh, another side quest. Get rid of fast mode. Maybe he'll let me in without shooting me. That would be nice. An elven man stands before you, his relatively stocky build suggesting a life of labor. His face is pale and drawn, and his eyes wide. Behind him, a younger man and woman exchange worried glances. Miller raises a club as you enter. It shakes violently in his grip. Get back if you value your life. Hold on. I'm not here to hurt anyone. Miller hesitates, then lowers the club a fraction. Who are you? Swinging a rope and foreigners into his little crusade now? Thought you could use some help. These people out there seemed pretty angry. Really? Highly as tits could I use a friendly face. I take it you heard some part of what that crowd's asking for? Brain. As if I've got it all tucked away somewhere. Swimmer's been egging that lot on for days now. They've been keeping clear so far, but if things keep on like they are, I don't know how much longer we've got before things get messy. Please, you're not just here on his behalf. Maybe you could speak to Swaymer. You won't listen to me anymore. Just explain that we're all getting smaller rations now. We're all making sacrifices. I'll go see what I can do. The miller all but sags with relief. I'd be grateful if you did. You won't listen to me anymore, but maybe you'll have better luck. Tell him we're all having a hard time of it and all have to make some sacrifices. We'll be in your debt for it. You can convince him. All right. Well, that's a thing to do. All right, let's go down here and visit this random house. As we load. Who are you two? The man and woman appear to have been deep in conversation, working at closing two bulging satchels. They move to embrace until the woman notices you approach and pauses, her smile faltering a little.
Good day to you.
Can we help you? You know this man Naughton? Yes, I think we met in the Valewood. I warned him about the bear. Glad to see you've made it. Was there something else you wanted? You two seem to be in a hurry. Yes, I imagine so. We're packing for a trip, actually. I've been meaning to visit Defiance Bay, and, well, in truth, I think I've had my fill of this town. Time for some new scenery. All right, well, nothing with you yet. Let's go clear the rest of town. Go here. What's in here? Gilded Vale home, 30 experience earned. Oh, that was easy. Anything in here I need to talk about? Just 2 more yellow boxes. Okay. Wizard racism. Got it. Okay. Unpleasant. All right, let's go visit Offra's house. That's next on our list, if you remember. That's way over here. I believe Offra was Kaliska's sister, so this should be an unpleasant conversation. A Dyrwoodian woman is standing in front of the fireplace, humming a quiet tune to herself, or perhaps to her unborn child, for she is clearly quite pregnant. She turns her head slightly as you enter.
Well met, friend.
Well, finally, I was starting to think. Oh, I'm sorry, I was expecting someone else. Can I help you? Just arrived in Gilded Vale. Thought I'd get to know the locals. Were you in one of the caravans? Master Odema's by chance? You knew Odema? Well, no more than most here. He doesn't usually come this way, but they say he's a reliable old fellow. Wait, why do you say new? I'm sorry, but the caravan was attacked. I'm the only one to survive. I knew. I told her it was a dangerous path to take. Kaliska was always so certain she could take any danger. Oh, my poor sister. I'm sorry, stranger. I just can't believe she's gone. If only I hadn't called her here. If I hadn't written to her, she might still be alive somewhere. Kaliska mentioned she thought you needed help. Perhaps I could provide some assistance? Kind of you to offer, but I don't know if I could impose this on you. Not a small favor. I'm worried about the baby, about the legacy. I told Kaliska as much as I could, but all I know is that for a long time now, every child born in Gilded Vale has been soulless, empty. It's happened to so many mothers, and Lord Radric, he's exiled all of them, only at a sign of God's disfavor. My Hawthorne gone, I don't know how I'd manage if I lost my home, too. I hope Kaliska could help me. They said Ranga, the old midwife, knows a way to prevent a child from being hollowborn. But she's moved south to Anslog's Compass 2 seasons ago. The journey's too far for me. Can't make it as I am. But I don't have anyone else now, with Kaliska gone. Please, can you help me? Yeah, I'll find her for you. Oh, you will? Oh, God bless you. Here, I'll give you coin to pay for her with. You needn't trouble yourself with that. I think it's a drink she fashions out of... Well, I'm not sure. But it shouldn't be too much of a burden to carry back. And I gained reputation. Anslog's Compass is what we call the lagoon to the south. We'll have to cross the wilds to get there, but that's what really keeps me trying myself. Thank you again. Truly, you'll be saving us both. All right. Let's head back to the Blackhound Inn and see if we can find that drunk and get him to stop messing with the windmill. There he is, Swainer.
Well?
Hail and well met.
Don't know who you are and don't much care. Keep walking. Not here to chat with foreigners. Careful. Looks like they're cut from the same cloth as those rowdies who attacked me. Smells like it, too. I saw you outside of the mill. What was that about? Oh, someone fancies himself a meddler, eh? What's that about? About Trumbull thinking he's king of the town. Kind of that he's got a mill to his name. About him barely giving us anything for the wheat we bring him. And cutting our purses when we need to buy grain. About farmers going hungry while some bastard gets rich off their crops. That's what it's fucking about now. Shove off. What if I buy you all around? Will you talk to me then? Fair enough. You bring us something to wet our throats, and maybe I'll feel up to trading words. On that note...
As you wish.
Hey.
Beer solves everything.
Good day, stranger.
I'd like to buy a round for those fine fellows over there. Fine fellows? You're having me on. Any more fighting and I'll have to ban Swainer from the inn entirely. Till then, 6 copper pieces for the lot. Here you go. Right then, here, 3 drinks for 3 fools. Just take care with them. They're a hot-tempered bunch. And I'm fully armored with sharp swords, so if this goes poorly, I'll just cut them in half.
Good day to you.
I brought drinks. Hey, so you have. By the flame, I never thought I'd be so happy for a mug of the Black Hound's shit beer. Gods, that was good. Alright, you got my attention. What is it you've got to say that's worth a round of drinks? Look, there's no sense in threatening the miller. You have him up against a wall. Maybe you can ask some of the other villagers for help. You're right. Things go on like they are, we're just going to end up hanging from that tree out there. Tell Trumbull we'll leave him be. Don't know what we'll do now with the crops failing. Haven't got another trade to speak of. Think Pasca needs a hand around the inn? Alright, let's go back to Trumbull. Over here. Ooh, I discovered the Temple of Eothas off screen. We'll come back to that in a minute, I'm sure. Alright, Trumbull.
Gods keep you.
You're back. Need luck with Swainer? Yeah, I talked to him. And what'd he say? I convinced him to leave your family in peace. Well, that's... Really? It's great news. I wasn't sure you'd get through to them. I know their minds would drink half the time. I owe you a great debt. Here. Today's earnings to show my appreciation. And you be sure I'll let everyone know what you've done for me. Glad to help. Now we stand a chance of getting through the year. All thanks to you. Safe travels, friend. Alright, that puts me a long way from my next level, but any experience is good. Alright. So we're going to do one last thing. Then we're going to call it for the day, because I'm not going into another big dungeon. We are going to talk to you, Mr. Armored Man.
Nice and quiet.
We're looking for something. Maybe the hound will find it. So, okay. Yeah, I don't care if the kid detects me. I just want that. Thank you.
I wonder what this is.
So, Regeneration, Spirit Shield, Bloodstone, and a Copper Band. Thank you. Thank you very much. Cool. Let's go back to our crafting. So you can see we can craft some other fun things. We can also craft scrolls, which we're not going to do yet. We can also take magical items and enchant them. How did I miss a Scolder ear? Huh. I was going to grab +1 int, and I was going to feel so cool. But I guess I'll do that next episode when I finally find a Scolder ear. I guess I just didn't loot it, or it didn't drop. But you can see what the process is here. We just click it and we enchant it. I'm assuming we'll gather more recipes as we go on. Same with Buddy here. We can enchant his stuff eventually. You can also see that there is a limit based on the items. So I suppose higher quality items have higher quality opportunities for enchantment. Next stop is to go down those stairs, but we are not doing that right now because that is another big old dungeon that I don't want to deal with right now. So we will deal with that in our stream tomorrow. As always, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you, Paul, and your disturbing corn antics. Thank you, Dr. Bizarre, for hanging out. Anyone else, if you're watching this on Twitch later on, you can always follow me. If you're watching it on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me I'm bad at this game. I know, but still helps. But thank you so much. Have a fantastic rest of your day and take care of one another. Thank you.